Hi, this is Ezekiel Chew, founder of Asiaforexmentor. So in this video, I'll be revealing what I do on a weekly basis, and I'll be sharing my analysis for this week, which is the 25th of July 2016. So you can refer to this video throughout the week to spot for trade setups. The analysis in this video will be my trading plan for the week. So in my weekly analysis videos, I'll be sharing pairs that have possible setup for the week or pairs that are worth taking note. Okay, so here's the first pair. Right, so first pair is GBPUSD, right? GBPUSD. So GBPUSD, apparently we saw this big long bearish bar over here, and that was what? That was the Brexit, right? The Brexit movement where it shot from the top all the way to, in a day itself, is around 1,700 pips and 1,700 over pips, and it shot down all the way to 2,000 over pips itself. So the Brexit news is something that we have talked about, and it's something that we have anticipated about the breakdown downwards, right? So right now I'm just going to further on update about what is happening in the current market in the GBPUSD as a pair as a whole. So right now in the daily time frame, price is now hovering sideways. Right, after dropping down from the Brexit, I've plotted three lines over here. So in a way, these are my three pivot areas. So this is the top zone, bottom zone, and price headed back up towards the top zone. So right now, what we can see is that price is now respecting the area as a whole and never really broke through the bottom zone. If I zoom in closer, we can see that as a whole, price didn't really break through. Here was the lows, right? Price didn't really break or close below the lows as a whole, and it is now in a sloping downwards trend, which we can consider this as a descending triangle movement, whereby it's also being held by my blue dotted line, which is my Bollinger Band. So that's the reason why price is now in a sloping downwards movement, and it as well, it didn't close above the Bollinger Band. So all in all, price is in a downwards trend downwards. The top is downwards this way, the bottom is flat. So based on pure technical books itself, this descending triangle, it's going to head its way downwards. So from what we can see, we are going to expect price to move downwards, and if price does break through the lows over here, the next stop where we'll go will be all the way towards the lowest point on the left, which is the lows at the all-time low for the GBPUSD. So and if it does comes over here, it's going to form a double bottom setup. So if that comes over here, depending on the strength of the movement over here, it will most likely have a little bit of retracement, and then we will monitor what happens over here when that comes itself. Depending on the strength of movement, would it be strong enough to shoot all the way through, or would it be forming a double bottom setup to bounce its way back up? So but as for now, I'm still bearish on the GBPUSD, and once it does break through these descending movements that we have marked, I'll be looking to short, and I'll be getting out at the bottom over here. Alright, so this is GBPUSD. Next pair, XAUUSD. So this is gold, right? Gold. So we have been talking about gold for since the start of the year, and I've mentioned that here price shot up and have already reached the high, and we already expected price to drop down, head down slowly, and then I've plotted the trend line as per my previous week analysis. So what price is doing now is I expected price to head down lower and lower towards my area over here as a rejection. So price is now coming towards the area as per what we have planned, because it couldn't be shooting up all the way, right? So, and I also plotted the horizontal line here based on the highs over here. So that is also the reason where we can see, if you zoom in, here is the I've plotted over highs over here. Price came down. By far, it didn't close below the high, so it's still being held back. So when price comes down to this area as a whole, where my horizontal line, my pivot meets my trend line, this is going to be a rejection. We can expect a little bounce as a whole upwards. But when we go on to the weekly time frame, what we have spotted here is why I mentioned here was the rejection, because it reaches to my weekly Bollinger Band, which is my top over here. Therefore, price rejected, which is something we would have expected. But on weekly itself, it formed a long bearish bar over here, which is actually a bearish outside bar. So weekly itself, it formed a bearish outside bar formation, whereby there is a good chance that after a little bounce off the trend line over here, we may see a continuation itself downwards. And if it does hits down further, next stop where would it go would be my next levels of my trend line over here. And if that comes down over here, sorry, what did I just do? Right. If it does just comes down over here, it's going to meet the trend line together with the 365, my white line. So it's going to be a next rejection. If it does break through, it's going to be here, whereby the next stop it will be here. But as for now, we can expect price to case down to here and expect a little bounce upward itself. Okay, next pair, NZDUSD. So NZDUSD, this is also a pair that I've covered on the previous week analysis. So if we go on to the weekly time frame, I mentioned that price is getting blocked by the 150, and that's the reason why it's kind of stopped over here and it didn't break through the level, my orange line. Let me remove this. So we can see it tested, and that's the reason why it got rejected. And then if we go on to the monthly time frame, it is also at the zone of the monthly 150. The last time monthly 150, it tested 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, the 5th month, then it broke through. So here was a very strong rejection, right? So right now price is going back up to the monthly 150 once again, and that's the reason why it couldn't break through and it got rejected downwards. So let me plot a line at the monthly 150 over here, and if I go down to the weekly time frame, price is now broken through and closed below the monthly 150, and that's the reason why last week itself it shot downwards. So this was a good selling movement. All in all, NZDUSD, it's probably going to we are going to expect it to be heading itself downwards, because here is a pretty strong rejection level. But if it does comes back up again for the second time upwards and tests this area once again, it's going to be a big strong break upwards. But as for now, we are still bearish on the NZDUSD. Okay, last pair. I'll keep this video short. USD CAD, so the dollar CAD. So the dollar CAD I've also covered on the previous week analysis, where I mentioned the 150 is holding it really well. So many days back, it headed up and closed above to form a false breakout. So this again is a method that I thought I teach my my students, whereby a method to avoid false breakout like this. So right now, after breaking up, it came back down, got stopped by my 365, and it's now heading back up again. And this time around, it does seem like it's having a clear solid break above the Bollinger Band and also above the previous high. So this time around, if we have a good confirmation on the lower time frame, dollar CAD will most likely be starting its movement upwards, right? So we just had a fantastic seminar just yesterday, last weekend, and it was great. It was great. I'm glad that we have a good seminar, and then we had a real warm participants during the last 2 days itself. So we enjoyed ourselves over the last 2 days, and we will cover a lot of analysis for the forthcoming trades itself. So right, that's all. Right, so that's all for this week. I'll see you all next week.